Hello, Ukraine and Russia. Oh man, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Yeah, a lot of people are going to hate me after this, but it is so exciting. Come on, I'm going to wait for a few more and then we're going to like dance. What a dream, man. What a dream. Hello. Okay, so another 10 seconds and we start. So, finally, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that something like this could happen in my lifetime. In fact, for the past 5, 6 years, things have only been going according to what I think. In the sense of, I've always hoped, something crazy would happen. And for 25 years, like I was always at some level an anarchist. And I would always think that, like, let something crazy happen. And in 2015, when I think the Australian fires happened, I was like, okay, this should go on for months. But in my head, I was like, this shit only goes on in the movies. It's not going to really happen. And then it happened. And then when the pandemic came, I was like, okay, this should go on. This should be crazy. And when I first heard of the pandemic, that was 22nd December 2019. Okay, when like 3,000 people had been affected and no one had really died yet. At that point of time, I said, it should become a world pandemic. Like what? And then in my head, I'm like, no, SARS and MERS have been controlled, and it doesn't happen. Like these things happen in the movies, and then boom. And then this time, when Russia came close to the borders, I'm like, these things only happen in movies. But it was my dream that something like this happened. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Like right now, a lot of people will say, no, war is wrong, or that this is not the way things should be, etc., etc. But the reason is that Russia, Ukraine, okay, is such an educated place. They're educated people, okay, they're relatively rich, they've got everything, and they did not learn anything from the 2014 attack on them. Okay, when Russia took over, just glided into Crimea and just took over everything, right? They did not learn anything. They are still producing children. They're still doing the same nonsense that they wanted earlier. And I'm fine with that. Okay? Then don't complain that, oh, Russia is invading me. That is just stupid. Right? You are going to go through the same suffering. History repeats itself. How don't you get that point? The same nonsense. Now they're saying, oh, babies are being birthed in bunkers. There is still some sign of hope. What rubbish, yaar. I mean, come on. The same nonsense is going to. Same thing happened during World War II. The same thing happened during World War One. Every time you're going to repeat this bullshit. Okay, of saying that babies are being born and this is a sign of hope. Everyone is suffering. Russians are suffering. Ukrainians are suffering. Palestinians are suffering. Israelis are suffering. Indians are suffering. Pakistanis are suffering. Everyone is suffering, and everyone thinks that having a child is some sort of triumph against this whole war. What is a child going to do? Do you have no humanity to think of what the child is going to face in the this of war? With Afghanistan, I get it. Okay, they are relatively uneducated people, etc., etc. But can you, like, they have children? I get it. I understand. They have no choice. They have no option. They have no awareness. They don't know what is sex. The man wants to, he ends his day and he just wants to remove his frustration on his wife. The wife is too tired to resist. Okay, so Afghanistan I get, but Ukraine, seriously, like, don't you have the brains to see that Russia is going to come again and again? Every time there is a little dip in popularity for Putin, he's going to come again. What else does he have? What else does a dictator have? Look at patterns, you fools, you educated fools. So, yeah, so whatever's happening in Ukraine, they just deserve it. Okay, especially if they continue having babies, especially these damn breeders who are completely selfish, thoughtless, no concept of life. Okay, they don't understand what is going on, why they are doing what they are doing. They're just having babies. Okay, and then there apparently there was these racist comments saying that, people with blonde hair and blue eyes are dying and I feel so bad. But people do feel bad for pretty people. Okay, when pretty people die, people feel bad. That's just a human thing. That is how we function. Okay, everyone says, oh, such a beautiful girl, she shouldn't have died. But what does beauty have to do with it? It has nothing to do with it. But still, people are like, no, 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 beautiful people shouldn't die. So, obviously, this is how we are. Okay, we like beautiful people. We like people that reflect light. Get over it. Stop this damn racism, racism, racism. Understand what is going on. Oh, chalo, I'll answer some questions. Why not? Agree with what you said. A 23-year-old gave birth, and I'm like, why? What was the reason? What's the end game? Here you think, then, or is he going to nuke us? Or exactly. So you don't even know. Like now with the thing, at least now, I hope people start coming to some sort of realization. But the press is still doing the same nonsense. Okay, they're doing the same nonsense. Little rays of hope. Oh my God, sunshine. Wow. You have to change this damn image. Okay, nonsense. You're just creating future refugees. That's all that's happening. Okay, they lack realization. Breeders are just selfish. Yeah, absolutely. They are selfish. They are thoughtless. They don't even think about their selfishness. They're just there. They're there. Idiots. We are just animals with little intelligence. Absolutely, we are animals. The claiming of intelligence is just absolutely ridiculous. Like, just stop saying that we are intelligent creatures. Okay, we are a slightly evolved race with few highly intelligent people, and the rest of us dumbed down by those people's intelligence. Okay, it's like Sherlock and Watson, right? There is only one Sherlock, but there are hundreds of Watsons. So, Sherlock keeps Watson with him just to show how smart he is. Okay, all right. Do you think euthanasia will ever be legal? No, I don't think euthanasia will ever be legal in India. We are not that evolved. But then the thing is that we do evolve eventually. We are about 10 years behind the West in everything. So when the West legalizes it, I think about 10 years after that, entirely legalizes it. There are parts of the West that have legalized it currently. But when the West entirely legalizes it, right, only then I think we'll have some sort of hope. Okay. Anything else? Do you think people will change their mind in Ukraine about childbirth considering they have experienced the war? I don't think so. There will be slightly more realization than before, than earlier was. But overall, it's not going to be a thing because people are not going to stop producing children. And for them, it's going to be a big thing. Like it's going to be what happens is now when you're a refugee, having a child gets you sympathy. It gets you food, it gets you extra ration, okay, it gets you an allowance, etc. So for that, people will continue having children. People are that thoughtless that they constantly call it a ray of hope, sunshine, blah blah blah, and then they will tell their children about how they are hard, what hardships they went through to grow them up, all that rubbish. Okay, but the truth is they're just getting a dole from the German government or from the Polish government or some rubbish like that, and all they're going to do is be making money off the child. So overall, it's not going to stop, but I think it will considerably reduce and increase the thought process that this is going to happen. Do you respect a person who is weaker than you? Yes, of course I do. See, weakness is not, it's just a thing, okay? Like, it is just like I'm tall, you may be short, or someone may be taller than me. That does not mean anything. Weakness in body does not matter, firstly. Now, let's talk about weakness in mind, okay? If someone is really a weak mind and they are unhappy with their weakness, I don't care what you are. If you are unhappy now, I can't respect you. And then what I'll do is I'll try and help you, right? I'll try and make you a stronger person, a stronger mind, a stronger body, whatever. Okay. And then you still don't help yourself. That is when there is no respect. Respect only comes when someone is willing to do something or willing to be something, or at least is just happy in himself. If someone is truly happy in themselves, they are not weak. Or they are weak, okay, they are whatever, they live in a gutter, I don't care. But if they are happy with their situation, okay, and don't want to change it, I truly respect that. So it does not, weak and all does not matter. It's about what you are, the intensity that you are. So happiness is a kind of intensity. So if you're intense in your situation, no matter whether you're in the gutter or whether you're on the top of the world, I respect you. But if you're on the top of the world and you're unhappy, then I disrespect you. Because you can change the situation, you can make yourself happier. But if you're not happy, then you're not worth respecting. Why? Because you have the resources to change your circumstances. We all do. Most of us do. We gotta stop bootlicking the West, yeah? Well, the West, I believe that America is truly, the West especially has truly in a way saved the world. Okay, I'll save the world. I'll explain to you how. It's not my dream. Like, I don't respect the West as much, but from most people's point of view, right? They've got some level of democracy. They've got some level of liberalism all over, right? Some level of freedom, some level of life that we are all living today is because of the West. So bootlicking, I agree. We should not bootleg. But overall, just looking at the West and emulating them or understanding the good points or taking what is good is a good idea. I think it's a good idea. Please recommend books related to nihilism and antinatalism. Firstly, read my book. Okay, if you have not read that, it's a very base level. Then you can go on to David Benetta, which is Better to Never Have Been. Then you can go on to there are so many Arthur Schopenhauers there if you're interested in all that. There are antinatalists all over the place. Like, you can just Google it, see what you like, go on to Goodreads, see their quotes, see what they are saying about life, and then you will understand. My request to you is to create an all India antinatalist community, Discord or subreddit or something like that. It really does get lonely at times. Having like-minded people to talk to will help be helpful for all. Okay, I'll think about it. There is our antinatalism subreddit filled with antinatalists. Yeah, if you can go on subreddit, that'll be great. Otherwise, I'm thinking some people were suggesting start a Discord page and all that. So I'm thinking of doing that. That's definitely on the this. I don't want to be talking to antinatalists all the time because I kind of like my own time. But let's see how it works. MLC or on the trouble with being born. Yes, that is also there. These are all very heavy books. I think you first should understand how life works. Okay, like with my favorite book, *Sapiens*, and maybe read my book, see how that works, and then go into the depth of these big things with big language. Big language. Even David Benetta, he's also quite basic. MLC and all are very intense. Arthur Schopenhauer is very intense. So if you're ready for that level of intensity, then yeah, go for it. Anything else? So yeah, I'm done with my rant about Russia and this. Side note: I love Russians because I really have a lot of Russian friends from when I went to Israel, and yeah, they're very nice people. Like, they're very if they hate you, they hate you. They love you. That kind of people, and they're very loyal. So I mean, I don't know, man. Like, if the public truly supports it or doesn't support it, they are rather aggressive. That's true. But overall, yeah. I mean, I generally find most people to be quite good. So, but yeah, people who breeders deserve the worst. They deserve the worst because at least Russia has some brains. They lost 1 million people last year. Okay, their birth rate is falling like a rock. But Ukrainians are still reproducing. Like, of course, their birth rate is falling and all that. But come on, guys, come on, get the point. It would be good to have an India exclusive community. Okay, I'll think about it. How will the nuclear war change the world, you think? Oh, firstly, climate wise, it's going to change the world massively because the world cannot take more than five more nuclear bombs, apparently, okay, on surface heat. So that's going to be quite a mess, right? And so climatically, it's going to be more and more of a disaster. It's going to kill the economy. Okay, the usual. There's going to be so much nonsense going on, and I really hope that we all remove our masks and start fighting amongst each other because all these years, we are just like we believe that the UN actually works. It does not work. What does the UN do? Peacekeeping. Like what? It's just feeding kids who will die anyway. Right? So the UN is not actually doing much. It's just that we believe that there is going to be peace and that there is a peacekeeping force. It's all there to keep an illusion. But the truth is that we are all willing to claw at each other for the smallest thing. It's just that for the past 30 years, there has been so much excess. Okay, or let's say 70 years, there's been so much excess that we don't feel that need. That need has been, pushed into other things like television, Netflix, working, building the economy, paying taxes. Now that illusion is coming to an end, and it's about time. Like, it's about time that illusion came to an end, and we all be who we are. In fact, in a way, a war is a kind of mass realization that things should not be this way, or I should sort myself out, etc., etc. But unfortunately, most people are victims of the war, and I'm not talking about people who died. I'm talking about people who are in PTSD, people who suffer, people who become refugees and refuse to understand who they are. They're just looking at the world and saying, "We need rights, we need rights." You won't get rights until you take them. Why people get triggered when we explain to them about antinatalism. They sometimes accept what I say, but still deny to accept that their parents are at fault. Oh, that is because of brainwashing. I mean, this extremely good brainwashing, and it's been happening over years. So I kind of understand people who, do not get out of it because it is really difficult. And it is this whole process and it destroys your illusions. And for all you know, it may kill your mental health, if you start blaming your parents. So people don't want to risk that. So, and they're not educated enough, they're not thoughtful enough. So they just stay in the old, same rubbish. Thoughts on metaverse. I refuse to have thoughts on metaverse. I mean, I don't know, man. Like it doesn't seem. Firstly, it doesn't interest me. So that's one thing. And the second thing is that I just don't see it as something I do. Like no matter what, it is possible that it may be something that we'll all be forced to do in a way, because it's like Google Pay, or like doing everything online. Eventually, we may be forced to do it. But it's like this, right? Most people are glued to their screens, and I still work out. Like most people don't work out, but I still work out every single day, right? So it's like I'm going to be outside this. I'm going to not go into the metaverse as much as possible, and I don't think it's healthy in any way for any one of us to go into the metaverse. I think it's a ridiculous concept, but it's just another extreme of illusions. It's the culmination of all illusions in a way. Hi, brother. I'm from Russia and I don't want war. Please take me to your place. Okay. Why don't you want war? I really want to know. Like, what is the issue here? If you're from Russia and you're from the country that runs that shit, like, of course, there are the sanctions and all that nonsense. But then, come on. I mean, I'd handle that if India was an aggressive country. Is there a limit to technological innovation? I was asked in a joke. Is there a limit? I think there is a limit. I think we've hit the limit long ago. You know what? We are not really innovating. Okay, what we are doing is we are just amalgamating things together, right? There was the internet 30 years ago, there was a phone 150 years ago, right? We just combined that and we made that. So, at least for the last 30 years, there's been no real innovation. Okay, real true innovation that has changed everything. So for the past 30, 40 years, like we are just making things better. We are taking old things and mixing them together. Okay, we are recreating things, but we aren't innovating. So I think we've reached that limit. It's just that we learn small tricks to make it better. We learn smaller tricks to make it better. So but nothing like the wheel or the phone or the internet. Nothing new has been invented in the last 30, 40 years. How would you handle war if it broke out in India? Oh, wow. I would be in the middle. I'd be partying. I'd first join the army if possible as a conscript, and if they want conscripts, that is. And then then see, like have fun, get your action, like get your daily dose of action. It's going to happen now that Russia has attacked Ukraine. I feel it's going to inspire China. Okay, it's going to become like a thing where these countries, the conquering countries, will create systems of their own, financial systems, export import systems, everything. Okay, shipping, etc. So they will create these systems on their own, and they will make sure that their money is flowing and that they can conquer other things. Now, many people are saying that uh, uh, actually taking over a country does not make economic sense, but it's clearly making more and more economic sense now that most countries are in debt. Okay, and most like resources are getting over, lots of resources are getting over. In case you're not updated with this, tar sands, Canada has run out of tar sands. We're running out of lithium for batteries. Okay, so land has become suddenly is slowly becoming more valuable than data. Earlier, land was everything. Now, when we are losing actual material minerals, okay, when you're losing selenium, when you're using silicon, when you cannot find these things in the natural earth, then automatically land will become more valuable. So countries will start conquering each other again, and they will move away from the whole data. Data will still be important, okay, but it's not going to be as important as it was in the last 20, 25 years, right? Someone said that parents give us birth so we can get mukti. Mukti can only be achieved if one gets a human body. That's absolutely ridiculous. When they say why should you like just you're going to bond the person so that he can be free? It does not make sense. Okay, if they say in at least in Hinduism they say there is a limbo, right? You're on there is a what do you call it? There's a river, and when you cross that river, you're enlightened. You're free. Okay, but most people do not cross that river, and they are waiting for you to have children so that they can come back again, and then after they die then they can cross the river. It's so stupid. Like, okay, don't cross the river, man, but why do you want to live a human form in the human form? It's just stupid. So it's just a thought process. Like, and it's actually mukti is not for the kid. Mukti is for you. Okay, when your DNA gives you free this mukti is basically freedom. Okay, it's freedom from coming back, from reincarnation, etc., etc. So when your child, when your own DNA does some rituals, then they say you get freedom. So that is the idea of having a child. So every generation imprisons the other. So it's very poetic actually, because this is how we do it. We just keep imprisoning the future generation, the future generation, the future generation. Oh, that cool pick with a baseball bat. Destroy. Thank you so much. All right. Shall we? Any more questions? People say you were born because you were destined to and your soul wanted to. Your soul may have wanted to, but your parents' bodies ensured it, right? So, and that's a very regular excuse where they say, oh, you would have been born to someone or the other. Like if my parents say, if we had not done it, then you would have been born somewhere else, and thank God you're born here. And I'm like, either ways, it's all rubbish. It's all rubbish. So if we all decide as an evolved race that we just won't have kids, then where's the kid going to be born? Okay. Stupid. You were only there because your parents had sex. Finished. Only Acharya Prashant promotes antinatalism in mainstream. That's true. I really like him actually. You should check him out. He has a lot of English videos, Hindi videos also, and he makes a lot of sense. Like he's very chill and he's very direct and he's very rude, and I really like that about him. He's like another Osho. Sadhguru on the other hand is very diplomatic, but he also says that he's also pro antinatalist. Tried convincing people to be antinatalist, but they're saying I'm mad and treating me like an outcast. Yeah, let them, no, let them treat you like an outcast, because that is they are bound to do that in any movement that starts a new movement that starts, right? Initially, the people are treated like outcasts, okay, and there is always one madman who's like the Joker, which is in this case me. I'm really happy that I could be. And then there are a lot of followers, and those followers are treated as mad. And then eventually, when the movement becomes mainstream, when everyone stops having children, okay, then you will be the hero. Then you will be the guy, or array, this guy started it. This guy was the visionary, actually. So you have to take that risk. Okay, it's a very very basic risk. And I'm very happy to say that I live in Goa, so I've been coming to Goa for years, and on the beaches used to be full of children, okay, families, 3 4 kids, etc. Now I barely see any children, barely. Okay, like every couple has like one child or maximum 2 children. So it's really nice to see that change. It's really really cool. He doesn't say it openly. Acharya Prashant says it openly. There are many many videos of him saying it openly. I can send you some also. Even Acharya Prashant once said we need to continue humanity. He has to say these things, otherwise he lose followers like anything. Even for example, NihilAnand, it's not that big. Why is that? Because eventually people want to hear something nice. Okay, you cannot just say what you need to say to them. Even Osho was killed eventually. So it's all about the way you say it. Now I refuse to say it nicely. Okay, that guy needs a little what do you call it? He needs a little publicity. He needs to run his ashram. He has expenses, etc. So fair enough. Let him do it. Now, I mean, as long as you get the point. All right. Nice, nice, nice. Good questions there today. Any other questions? What is what? All right. I think I'm going to close it, because that's all I had to say about Ukraine and Russia. But I'm just really excited, and I hope this continues. Like I hope that people, how the UN doesn't interfere and Russia doesn't suss out and all this. Just do what you have to do. Let's fight it out. People are bored. They need something new. They need a war. How they're angry, they're frustrated, they're jobless, the economy is down. Give them something to do, man. Stupid. Acharya Prashant says we must praise our parents and listen to them. It's our, I don't. I've never seen such a video. Please send it to me because I've seen the exact opposite video where he's like, you should not care about your parents and you should not. They are you. They've had you, and they must pay for your shit. Basically, do you have any goals? I have no goals. I have no goals at all. I'm just messing around. I just have fun. I do my shit. I sleep, and that's all that is needed to be done. Walk around, amble around, smell the flowers. Don't have goals. It's all rubbish. If I had to have a goal, like if I was like, if I have a dream, let's say a dream, right? A dream would be where everyone becomes anti-natalist. But I'm not rushing towards it like a goal. If it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, I don't care. I'm not having a child, that's for sure. Charya Prashant says that in an altruistic way. Fair enough, whatever. Okay, so another 2 minutes, I'm going to end it. Does anyone disagree with me what I said about Ukraine and Russia? I just want to know that. Because can meditation help us? Yeah, of course it can help us. Meditation is very useful because you go through a lot of rubbish in a day, right? Especially your brain. It puts you through 50,000 thoughts. But those thoughts don't exist. So when you're sitting and you're just chilling and you realize that you are nothing, that is where meditation is. That is what meditation is. Okay, no disagreements there. Thank you so much. I think I'm going to close this. Thank you for showing up. Okay, I'll be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. And a lot of my posts have been successes. I'm so happy. Oh, also I'm on Linktree. I have put my link on everywhere, like on the description of all pages, including Insta, Facebook, as the this on my YouTube, everywhere. I put the Linktree thing everywhere. So it's got my two books. Okay, it's got the one what is it called, a documentary. It's got all my links, including Telegram. I'm also on Telegram now. So please don't message me bullshit. Okay, like just message me if you really have queries, if you really have questions. And maybe in a week or two, I'll have an announcement. I'm kind of making a career change, which involves you guys. Okay, so let's see how that works out. So I'll let you know. So Linktree, link tr.ee/NihilAnand. Okay, go on that, check it out. It's got all my stuff, unless you've already seen it. So that's another thing. So all right, I'm closing this. Thank you so much, everybody. How many friends are important? Friends don't matter. Friends don't matter. It's all about how you make life for yourself. But I'll make another video on that later. All right. Okay. Thank you, guys. See you. Bye.